Hey everyone, it's Jordan Faith. Here on my channel, I do all sorts of things with the curly girl method. If that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. I upload a new video every Thursday. Today, I'll be following Mains by Mell's Denman brush styling technique. I feel like I see a lot of people with looser curl patterns asking if the Denman brush would work for them. So today I'm following Mains by Mell's styling technique because I think she has a really great one with the Denman brush. And hopefully it can help answer that question for you. I'll be talking you through the whole process as we go, so let's head to my shower to get started. Here we are in my shower once again. Of course, I'm just getting my hair completely soaking wet before we start. And today I'm shampooing with the Talia Wajid Silk Milk Shampoo. This is probably my favorite shampoo right now. You can see the consistency is pretty runny, but not too runny. It's a little bit creamy. It cleanses really, really gently, and it's moisturizing, but not too heavy for my finer hair. I'm just gonna massage that into my scalp all over with my fingertips, and then I'm gonna take my silicone scalp scrubber with the very bendy bristles and start just making small back and forth motions. You wanna keep these motions really small so you don't risk getting your hair into a big tangled mess. And I also always add a little bit more water to my hair before I do this, just to help everything move around more easily. After I have thoroughly but gently cleansed my scalp, I'm going to wash that shampoo completely out and take the Mell Babassu and Mint Deep Conditioner, which is also pretty thin consistency and also one of my favorites. And I just start by working that through the lengths and ends of my hair. This product has an extremely strong minty cologne smell. Extremely strong, and it does linger in my hair, but it's totally worth it for me. It's an awesome product. It's got great slip, which is the slipperiness that helps me finger detangle like you saw me do. And it's got a lot of protein in the form of but it's also really balanced with the moisture content that it provides. And it's not too heavy for my hair. It's just like the perfect balance. So I just brushed that through and then I twisted and clipped it up on top of my head, covered with a shower cap, and left it on for about 15 minutes while I did other shower things. And now I am rinsing it out completely. I'm not gonna leave any in my hair. But this deep conditioner always leaves my hair just so smooth and very manageable. It always gives me a great result. Even though my hair is really hydrated, I'm gonna take the Curls Blueberry Bliss leave-in conditioner as the first step to Mains by Mell's 3-step styling process, which goes prep, style, finish. And this is the prep step, a nice leave-in conditioner. And I'm just using a little tiny bit. Working that through with my fingers and then brushing it through with my wet brush just to smooth everything out and make sure it's thoroughly and evenly distributed throughout my hair. And again, I'm twisting it up, clipping it on top of my head and covering it with a clean shower cap, just so I can get dressed and move into the other room to show you this styling process better. I'm adding a little bit more water to my hair and then taking the Anasi Curl Defining Custard, which is like a mix of a cream and a gel. It's really thick, but it's really, really easy to work with. This is the first step to the second part of the styling process, which is style. And Mell usually uses a cream, but I don't have a lot of creams and I don't usually use a cream because they can sometimes be too heavy for my hair, but I love using custards. So I went with my creamiest custard. And I just raked and then brushed that through. And now I'm sectioning my hair into top and bottom, and I'm just taking that top section at my temples twisting and clipping it up. Then I'm taking my first section, the section right in front of my left ear, just brushing through from the ends first with the Denman brush to make sure it's completely smooth. And then I'm going in with the bristles against my face and then twisting it into my hair. And I struggled a little bit with it catching the hair on top, but I finally got it. And then I'm twisting it all the way around, putting my hand against the, what's that called? Putting my hand against the edge of the brush to add some tension and then just pulling it all the way through. And it gives a really nice ribbon effect to the curl. And this is my first time using the Denman brush, and I never brush style my hair, so there's definitely a learning curve. I do not do this perfectly by any means. This is my first try. I hope it can show you an honest, clear image of what it might look like your first time trying a Denman brush. The back sections were definitely harder to do. I tried to keep everything as clean as I could, and it wasn't super hard to work with this brush, but I did keep having the issue of catching my other hair with the bristles, which I'm sure did create some little pieces of hair that got pulled away from their clumps. So I'm moving to the other side now, and my curls always curl toward my face, so that's why I'm doing it in this direction. And it was definitely harder on this side of my head because I'm right-handed, and I was having a little bit of trouble figuring out how to hold and twist the brush on this side. You can see I keep catching the other section with the brush. I am doing my best. And even though I was struggling a lot and didn't really know what I was doing, I thought it was a pretty easy process to follow. After I finished the entire bottom section, I took the Giovanni LA Hold Gel and just smoothed it over those freshly formed ribbony clumps, and then scrunched it in. And I didn't do a ton of scrunching. I just scrunched to kind of encourage them to curl up. But I wanted to minimize the scrunching so we could really see how the brush works in creating that definition. I'm taking down the top section of my hair and brushing it with my perfect hair care brush first so I can get it completely detangled because it was kind of a mess up there. And then I'm taking a section on the right side of my head, and I'm making sure that this section is not larger than the size of my brush so that all the hair will be able to be caught in the bristles. And then I'm taking the brush, again putting it in with the bristles up against my head almost, and then rotating it and holding my hand against one side as I pull it through to give that tension. And I'm not putting a lot of tension. It's not pulling my hair at all. I didn't lose any hair in this process. I'm just kind of making sure there's some tension on the brush to give a ribbon effect, just like the way that you would curl a ribbon with a pair of scissors. I did that front section, and then I noticed some of the hair was not where it was supposed to be. It shouldn't have been in that clump section, so I pulled it into the middle. And now I'm taking another side section on the other side of my head, and leaving that middle section till last. Adding some more water. Make sure you're adding water throughout the process as you see necessary. You want your hair to be nice and wet so that brush can easily travel through the hair and your clumps stay nice and juicy. I forgot to go grab a different, smaller clip, so my hair fell out of the clip right there. And then I had to twist it up again, but that's what happens when you forget to get all your tools together. Continuing with my sections, and some of them turn out really, really nice and smooth and ribbony. This brush definitely has a ton of potential. I can see why it works so amazingly well for so many people. It smooths the clumps so nicely and really, really helps get that definition. I'm taking the same gel again, just a little bit, wetting it on my hand so it's not too sticky, and then smoothing and scrunching it in again. You can kind of see the parts in my hair. I have lower, maybe medium density hair. So when my hair parts, you can see my scalp, especially when it's wet. And I did notice that even though I did a really nice root fluff at the end of this, you could still see some of the parts. But that improved a little as time went on. I wanted to quit here before my last section. My arms were so tired. This whole thing took me 30 minutes. I know that's not that long, and it won't take you this long once you have some practice. And it probably won't take you this long if you have more experience upright and brush styling, but I wanted to call it quits, but of course I had to do that last section. I curled this one away from my face because I thought that that would be the way that it was supposed to go, but it didn't end up looking right, so I redid it. And look how nice and smooth that was. My gosh, it's really satisfying when you do it really well and get a really nice, smooth result. There are those parts again that I was talking about. Those ones in the middle were the worst for me. I'm adding some more gel to those top sections, and then I just flipped my hair all to one side and then the other, just to give one final scrunch and try to bring everything together. And then I was finally done. Alright, I diffused for 20 minutes, and my hair was very close to being completely dry at that point, but I went ahead and let it air dry the rest of the way, and now it is completely dry. It doesn't really have much of a cast except for on some of these front sections. Now it's time to do the last step in Mains by Mell's 3-step styling process, which is finished. So I'm going to use the Shea Moisture 100% pure argan oil just to seal everything in, soften my cast, and smooth everything out. And I'm also going to do a really good root fluff. I'm just taking one little drop of that, rubbing it all over my hands, and then smoothing it down my clumps. Then I'm doing a really, really good root fluff, but like I said, I was trying to get rid of those parts, and they were still a little bit noticeable. And you'll see in a minute, my roots did get very smoothed out and a little stretched out, but I'm sure that that was mostly user error. I don't think it looks bad, but I just didn't get definition from root to tip, which is a struggle for me anyway, so take that with a grain of salt. And these are the results. I think the Denman brush really helps with definition. I obviously need some more practice, but it truly does give a ribbon effect to your hair, which really helps smooth everything down and really define and enhance that curl. I think it's mostly consistent throughout. It would improve as I practice my technique, I'm sure. My clumps are a lot smaller than normal, but that's to be expected because my hair wasn't as soaking wet as I normally style, and I didn't take any rows out of the brush because I wanted to use it just as it was. And I have heard that if you remove rows, that can help you get larger clumps. But overall, I think the results are pretty decent. Was it worth 30 minutes struggling with that brush to style? For me, no, but I really don't like upright styling. I'm not very good at it. I'm trying to get better, but I'm just not great at sectioning my hair, and I just don't have the coordination I think that it takes to really be great at upright styling, especially with a brush. But I tried, and I'll probably try again and try to get better. So if you're trying the Denman brush and your first attempt wasn't perfect, you're not alone. I'm sure that's the case with most people when they're first starting out. I think that if you have a looser curl pattern, it can definitely help with definition. And just like with everything, I think it's up to your personal preference. It just depends on the look you're going for and the method that works best for you. I prefer upside down styling. It's just easier for me, but it is really fun trying out all these different things. And I hope you enjoy watching it and that it can be helpful. I don't see myself adding the Denman brush to my normal routine, but I might start following the prep style finish method a little better, especially the finish step, which is the one that I usually don't do. But I really like the process of sealing everything in with an oil. I think it does add some shine and help minimize any frizz or flyaways. So I might start adding that to my normal routine. We'll just have to see. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't like it, you can hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos. I want to encourage you to love yourself fully and faithfully, and I'll see you next time.